to another episode of the Untold Stories about Courage and Valor. This is your today's host, Harleen Kaur. The army is the true nobility of our nation. This proverb rightly fits with our veteran Major General Rabindranath Bhalla sir. Sir's unparalleled contribution towards serving the nation up front. He commissioned into the 6th Battalion of the Jat Regiment on 8 June 1958. He has been awarded with Vishisht Seva Medal as Colonel GS 8 Division and also Uttam Yudh Seva Medal as GOC 54 Infantry Division. Sir, I would like to welcome you.
Thank you.
Sir, as we all know that one needs to be fully dedicated while serving the nation. So what was the force behind joining the army?
Well, basically the force behind me joining the Indian Army was that two of my brothers, we have 5 brothers, out of 5 of them, 4 of us have served the Indian Army. And 2 of them were commissioned into the British Indian Army in 1943. So they gave me the inspiration to join the Indian Army. Though of course my father was totally against it.
So would you like to narrate few incidents from the 1971 war?
No, in 1971 I was a staff officer, the operational staff officer called the Brigade Major with 340 Independent Brigade Group located at Trivandrum. And mid-70 we got the orders to mobilize, and we mobilized, and by about September, October we were in a place called Kishan Nagar near Siliguri, and we were 33 corps reserves. 340 Independent Brigade Group was reserved to 33 corps, and initially we had no part because we were supposed to be used only when there was shortage of troops somewhere. So 20 division got involved into Battle of Hilli, and the whole division was sucked into it. As after that 340 Independent Brigade Group was released to 20 division. And the day was 7th of December 1971, and at that time we had only 1 battalion, that is 2nd, 5th Gurkha Rifles with the brigade. We were supposed to have 3. We had 3 when initially inducted into Eastern Sector, 4 Madras and 511 Gurkha Rifles. 4 Madras was fighting along with Mukti Bahini at that time when we were given this task. 511 Gurkha Rifles were given to some other formation, but they were not very far away. So once on the 7th of December, we started our advance, and our task was to advance from Indian territory, go to a place called Pirganj. Pirganj was a place which separated Bogra and Rangpur. It's on the highway, and the task was to isolate these 2 areas so that no enforcement could go from one side to the other, and no enforcement from Rangpur could go to the Bogra side. We started our advance there. At that time 511 Gurkha Rifles were also close by, but not with us. They were released to us on the 7th of December. Now we started our advance on the axis from our side up to Pirganj, and similarly on the 7th, when 511 Gurkhas were released to us, they were also asked to advance. We went to Pirganj, and about 4 kilometers away from Pirganj there was a place called, just let me check my map, Lal Dengi Bazaar. So they were asked to go to Lal Dengi Bazaar, and we were 2nd, 5th Gurkha Rifles advanced on the axis to Pirganj. When we were about 1,000 meters away from Pirganj, our leading squadron commander, he came on the blower and he said, "Sir, I can see a convoy of flag cars. So what do I do?" I said, "Sir, shoot." So he shot there were 5 jeeps. He shot the last jeep, and finally, of course, at night we couldn't find out, but in the morning we came to know that it was the General Officer commanding a 16th Infantry Division, with 2 brigade commanders and his whole staff in those 5 jeeps. And they went, after their last vehicle was shot, they went into the sugarcane fields. And by about 10:30, 11 o'clock, our infantry also reached and occupied Pirganj. And the orders given to the commanding officer to send out patrols. They did send out the patrols, but unfortunately our patrol didn't go into the sugarcane fields, and they went around the sugar field, but they didn't enter the sugar fields. Now what happened at about 11:30, about 11 o'clock there was a message on the Pak net, that is radio net, that GOC 16 Infantry Division has been captured by the Indians. So the moment this message was received by me, this message was received by the division, I checked up with the battalion commander. He said no such thing has happened. Anyway, it's only in the morning that we came to know that GOC was there, and subsequently, since our patrol were withdrawn, he moved on foot and he was picked up in the morning by a helicopter. The main opposition we got was short of Bogra, a place called Mahatana, where the same battalion which had come to rescue the GOC was deployed. When the normal thing is to carry out patrollings, when we carried out patrol, we found that there was a huge gap of about 200 odd meters or 300 meters between the forward 2 companies, and there was a nala going into behind the Pakistani defences. So General Dick Dias subsequently became a general. General Dick Dias, Veer Chakra, he ordered Major Yadav, HSB Yadav, what is it?
JBS Yadav.
He asked, he was the company commander, he was given the task to infiltrate through that. I think that is the first time in the history of Indian Army that we carried out an attack by infantry. Now, Major Yadav, along with his 110 odd men, officers and JCOs, waded through neck-deep water into that nala which was going behind the Pakistani defences. And this operation started at about midnight, and by about 2:30, he was behind the enemy lines. And when he reached there, after, when you go behind, you have to deploy yourself to protect, take security measures. He took the security measure, deployed his troops, and he found about 300-400 meters away a bunker with lights. So he got hold of one of his youngsters and he asked him to go and see what it was. This boy went along with 10-12 men, and when he went to this, he found a bunker there with lantern lights inside it. And from one of the windows he peeped in and he found that there was an officer there, 2-3 officers there, and some staff. And from there it looked like the battalion headquarters. And he went back and told Yadav, sir, this is the battalion headquarters. So then Yadav deployed his troops, surrounded the battalion headquarters, and at the gunpoint asked this officer to come out. This officer came out, he was captured by us. There was another officer, captain rank officer with him. He was the adjutant of the battalion, the Subedar major, and their doctor. They were all captured. And Yadav very cleverly maneuvered this, manipulated this officer and told him, look, you order your troops to withdraw, otherwise I will shoot you. So under the threat, this officer, who was the second in command, major, second in command, because the CO had been killed by us in the initial operation on 7th of December. So he ordered his troops and he informed the commanding officer, Colonel Dias, at that time later became a general, that, sir, your task has been made easy. So what Dias did was that he outflanked the battalion from the railway line side. And he went and laid an ambush for these people who were withdrawing. And in that ambush, a large number of Pakistani soldiers were killed. And besides these 4 officers and few men who had, Yadav had captured, we captured about 70 odd officers and men. And that was basically the main battle where we had a lot of resistance besides Bogra. So on the 15th evening, we started seeing white flags coming up all over Bogra. And on 15th December, the ceasefire was declared. And on 16th, the troops started, Pakistani troops started surrendering to us.
So do you miss those army days?
Oh, I certainly do miss those army days. There's nothing like being in the Indian Army. And I am proud that I belong to a family who gave 4 of my father, and I'm proud of my father who gave 4 of his sons to the Indian Army to fight for the nation. And I'm proud to be an army officer and having reached the rank of a general and having retired from there. There is nothing better than army life.
That's really amazing, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was lovely hearing your entire journey.
You're welcome.
हो मेरा रोम रोम तेरा कर्जदार है, हमारी ये आजादी तेरी कर्जदार है। शुक्रिया 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 हो शुक्रिया।